It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Mohsen, and I'm the founder of Avatech Accelerator. Avatech is an acceleration and seed funding program based in Tehran. We have invested so far into 30 different companies, and we are planning to expand. We've been featured in many medias in the past 1.5 years of operation. And I was thinking of what to share today, as an entrepreneur, I thought the best is to do product validation. So I talked to some of you and I asked what you'd like to know about Iran. And I'm going to share this. Martin Sorrell, who is a quite famous investor, is saying that Iran is the last place after Moon and the Mars with tons of opportunities. But in order to better understand what's going on, let's take a look at the market. In many terms, Iran is very similar to Turkey. It has 82 million population, where 70% of the population is under 35 years old. And in terms of urbanization and literacy, again, very similar. Whenever you see all these global charts, Iran and Turkey come next to each other. 18 million people are living only in Tehran, which is the capital. Seeing what's happening in the tech scene, Iranians are really tech-savvy people. The mobile penetration in Iran is 120%. So as you can guess, there are people with more than one phone. 47 million people have access to internet, and 35 million are already using smartphones. Again, 70% of penetration belongs to Android. There are also tons of iPhone users. And to see what's really happening in payment, although the country has gone through a lot of sanctions and the global players are not really present in the market, but local players have been able to develop their own platforms. So there are sophisticated core banking systems. There are debit cards. 318 million debit cards exist in the country. And what might be surprising, especially for people who are in MENA region, is that 80% of payments are done online in e-commerce. So the cash on delivery is basically too low. And the reason is that people really trust online payment as using their debit cards. Let's look at the talent market and the talent community. Might be surprising that Iran is, after Russia and US, has the highest engineers per capita, and also a very inexpensive talent and workforce. And we are seeing two new trends that might be surprising for you. The first is that Iranians have a big expat community. So for some of you who might not know, the founder of eBay, the founder of Dropbox are all Iranian people, but they did it in Silicon Valley. But especially after the lift of the sanctions, many of these people are actually bringing back both their funds, their experience, their knowledge, and they're really interested to give back. And this is not the only trend. Some of them are coming back to use the opportunities that exist in the country. We had 90 founders so far in Avatech program, and we did a survey to see what they had in mind. And it was interesting for us to see 25% of them had the plan of leaving the country because further education or finding a job. But after seeing the startup movement, seeing that they can actually do something and create value inside, and the market is there, they actually changed my mind. So we are also seeing a trend of reducing brain drain from the country, which the country has really suffered in the past decade. But here I want to tell you a story of an entrepreneur who during the sanction, actually took the opportunity and created a company. We also, a great presentation by Sebastian from Naspers, who was sharing his stories from some entrepreneurs who really tackled local challenges. I'm going to tell you about Cafe Bazaar, which was founded 4 years ago by two young entrepreneurs, where 4 years ago, the number of Android mobile phones were increasing in Iran, But due to sanction, Google has blocked access to Iranian users to download mobile applications. So as an Android user, you can't download mobile application from Android. And on the other hand, if you're a developer, you can't really publish. So that's why these guys built this product. And within 4 years, they got 30 million users. And almost 10% of the mobile traffic of the whole country is belonging to this product. And last year, they generated revenue of $15 million US. So there was this question, what would happen after sanctions? Now that Google and all international players might be able to enter to the market. So these entrepreneurs, and whenever you see that gifted entrepreneur, they know really how to find their way, they started to launch more products. So they have launched an application on classified, which is widely being used, called Divar. It's a mobile classified product, which is widely being used. But 4 years ago, I was actually here 2 years ago in the startup Istanbul, and I was talking the changes in the startup ecosystem of our country. But I can say that 4 years ago, there was small movements of startups. There were not so many real success stories, but there were people who were building products. But what we are seeing today is very different. Those logos that you see on the top, the ones on the left side are the ones which are now becoming the real success stories of the country. The largest e-commerce, for example, e-commerce platform called Digicala, which is similar to Hepsi Burada in Turkey, and many, many others, and many more to come. And this couldn't happen if we were not able to build a good startup ecosystem. Now there are many venture capitals, and they are actually raising foreign investment, bringing international investors next to themselves, investing into real promising entrepreneurs. There are 12 accelerators right now, which 2 years ago didn't exist at all. Now there are 12 of them operating. There are 2 angel networks, so the number of people who are investing into startups are really increasing. And a lot of events. There is no day or there is no weekend that you can't really find a startup event. And a lot of content to be published. So I had this question from some of the people I talked to that, what do you suggest if you want to be involved and if you want to take part as this opportunity? So I have 3 tips for them. First of all is to get engaged early. Because the sooner you get engaged, the bigger opportunities you can tap to, and then you can benefit from it. And the second tip would be find a local partner. And the reason is that Iran is a highly regulated country, like many of the countries in the region. And not only that, but it has its own dynamics of the market. So finding a local partner and it's actually exchanging values, and then you can expand to this country. And the third one is actually to explore investment. Either you can invest into funds, which are, like we are having our own seed fund, which is performing well, and also there are more funds being created. So that way you can actually kind of index the risk. You can take the indexing approach of investing into, many startups in the technology scene, or you can actually syndicate. We are now talking to different investors, and as the investor community in Iran is strengthening, so you can explore syndication with other co-investors, so you have somebody who can really take care of the startup and make sure that they would go into the success. I'm sure you would have more questions. I would be happy to answer. I can be reached via email, Mohsen@Avatech, and I will be happy to answer. Thank you so much.